We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast um, for Top Gun Sales Bootcamp training. Um, I don't know. My guess is that this one's going to be unlike anyone we've ever had in the past.
How so?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure, nor but everybody's been forewarned. So everybody's been forewarned. And so, especially those that aren't on the live session, is one of the reasons you want to, upgrade, or maybe you don't. Maybe it's safer just to be where you're at. I don't know. I'm just telling you, giving you heads up. All right. So, Nora, what you got?
My percentage for last week was 52.
You go, girl. Are you as excited about the graphs and the charts as I am?
Mm, Probably not quite, but it'd be
Any
nice to
ideas?
see.
Yeah, any ideas why I get so excited about graphs and charts?
Not sure.
In part, it's because they're not people, so they're predictable. They're true. It's like this is what it is. I mean, sure, people are putting in the data, so who knows if people are honest then with themselves or anybody else. But and then you can see the truth. You can see if what's happening, and so you can know, am I really doing better or not? Because you can see into the future. It gives you like the ability to see into the future, to know what's going to happen in the future. And what's really cool about that is that when you can see into the future and you say, this is what's happened in the past, and so here's the patterns. This is what's going to happen in the future. Um, then what happens then?
You alter your decision making.
You can alter your decision making. You can.
Gotcha.
You don't
Hmm.
you can. So you have the ability to see clearly what's going to happen in the future. So questions?
Nope, I don't think so.
So what's interesting is you'd think like, you'd think that people would go ahead and if they saw something that wasn't good in the future, wasn't in the future, you know, that wasn't good, you'd think they'd alter it. You'd think if they had, car crashes in the past, that they would go ahead and change their behavior. Why is it that people can have this crazy past and their future is just going to be worse, and they continue to do what they did in the past, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fascinating. it's just it's just fascinating. It's like, and I'm 20 years old and I'm like jeepers. I mean, maybe Mark, you don't know what you're doing. Okay. Yes, I must not. And I'm 25 and I'm like, I see stuff and I'm like, Mark, you're too young. You don't know what you're doing. Okay. And then I'm 30 and it's like, well, you're still pretty young. and then 35, and then 40. Now I'm 62. Now I just kind of chuckle and go, you know what? People will figure it out or people won't. And what's interesting is most of the time, in my experience, people don't. It doesn't matter how painful it is. And the ones that go and squeal like little piglets, like they squeal about how painful something's been in their past, they just don't change. It's like they almost want to go ahead and experience that again. But anyways, so this is, yeah, we said we don't know where this round and round Mark's mind goes, where it stops. Nobody knows. Nice. Ken, anything else, Nora, you got?
No.
Kenny, anything you got?
So this week I have like my list for this week to do. I have like 3 sales clients that I have to finish up, finish up what I do. And then kind of after that, I'm trying to back that down even more where I don't have as many people that I have to focus on because it seems I can't keep up, or I don't do a good job of working with them if I'm working out and servicing.
What's your question?
I guess the pros and the cons of doing that.
Okay, and what'd you come up with?
I think it's for the time being, I think it's good where I don't have as many as I think I can handle a few, like 1 or 2. But where I don't have as many sales work to do, as much sales work to do, so I can focus more on the servicing area and do a good job there. And
Do you have
then I think
Sorry, go
it'll be 2 weeks. So my thing is with me, the sales work dropping down, like what do I have for this call? Like what do I have for this meeting?
right? Nice. Do you think you can learn from your past?
I think I can.
Do you think you do?
I don't know.
Do you think, you know, if you do or don't, do you think that's a big deal for you and people around you?
I think so.
Okay. So do you have a question?
No.
Anybody have a question?
What question could we have?
Well, you could say, so Kenny, what's one of your greatest weaknesses, something that you're trying to go ahead and overcome?
Consistency?
Okay. Nice. Good. What's even bigger than that?
Not sure.
It's something, I don't know if it's your mom or your dad. I think it was your dad, but it could be your mom. But I think it was one of your parents, I believe, said something about you.
Okay.
Significant, like great, crazy significant. Like, holy cow, that's significant. Like, jeepers.
I think I know what you're referring to, but how does that connect or what does that reveal?
Right? Right, right. So, um, you know, I forget. This was what was it? 2 years, like 3, 4 years ago. I had the year of connecting the dots. Or no, I had 4 years ago. I think I had not connecting the dots. Like, why don't people connect dots? And then, and then the year after that. So not connecting dots. I wanted to feel like it was what it was like to be stupid. Like, what's it like to be stupid? What's it like? It's the most fascinating thing. Like, I'm sure you guys probably have done that, felt that. It's hard, right? When you're exposed to a concept and your native language is not English, it's Amish Dutch, and all of a sudden something hits your senses and you can't, there's no translation in Amish Dutch. There's nothing to translate. Like, how do you translate that? Like, and then you just like, yeah, I can't process it. So it's connecting the dots, not connecting that. How do you help people connect dots? It's like, it's fascinating. It just, so what was it you were thinking that what was it that you were thinking about what your parents said?
Um, where I'll end up in prison.
Okay, so that one there, and I can totally see that. I mean, when I met you, I'm like, yep, I can see this. But it wasn't that one, but that was one of them. That's a good one to remember. Don't think you want to be in prison. Yep. um, there's another one more recently than that.
Not sure.
Anybody else know? See, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting. Like, how do I know what I know? How do I see what I see? How come other people aren't seeing stuff? See, the interesting thing is not the thing, it's what's behind the thing that's the most interesting. But people, they can't even see the thing, much less what's going on behind the thing. Anybody know why I'm able to capture conversations I'm not even a part of? And how I can lock those into my memory, and then how I can bring those up later at very strategic times. Like, I had no intention of bringing this up. Like, this wasn't even on my. I just had an energy, a feeling. I'm like, this one's going to be interesting. Like, this one's going to be interesting. And so, what your parents, I think your dad said, is, Kenny, you run from things. And so I just, Like I just realized, I don't know, a few months back about the factory where people go ahead and they don't like being locked into situations. So what they do is they sabotage the situation and they force being laid off, or they force something. They force something, and so they don't do it properly. And so they don't ever learn. And the consequence of their choices continue to escalate. It continues to go ahead and get worse and worse and worse. Now, naturally, while I'm talking about all of this, I'm doing introspection at the same time and saying, Mark, how does this apply to you? Because it's a reflex form. It's so fascinating to me on how people go ahead, and people don't do that. They see things in other people. They see things in other people, and they don't look at themselves when they're doing it. How do I know when somebody does that? How do I know when it's just, how do I know that it's a reflex for them not to look at themselves? They look at other people. It's the worldview, fix other people. It's a worldview. It's, why I choose not to succeed. This white paper was written years ago, many years ago. And I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, people, I don't understand people. I don't understand people. Like, focus on fixing others and they're not fixing themselves. How do I know? People reveal their position to me where they're at. Do you guys know how people reveal themselves to me? It's fascinating. It's just like, this is what happens. When I say something to somebody about themselves, like, you might want to consider this. And they immediately, well, is that true with you, Mark? Immediately, when somebody says that, I know that's the type of person who just as a reflex, they won't look at themselves. They refuse to look at themselves. All they do is look at other people. Because they know this is a reflex for Mark. Anytime Mark's talking about somebody else, he's always talking about himself, and he's thought about this, like he's thinking about this about himself while he's talking, and he's probably been doing it for a long time. Like, this isn't the first time. He's not speechless. I have nothing to say. I don't know. My brain isn't capable. This is the first time I've ever thought of this before. Or maybe I have thought about this a lot, but I want to avoid it. So I'm thinking about how, like, I'm feeling boxed into a corner. I'm feeling like I'm tied up. Like I want to just escape because he's getting close. He's getting close to the truth. Fascinating. I knew this was going to be. I knew this was going to, I could feel it, but I didn't know what it was. Luke, what you got?
How do you learn to tell customers things they don't want to hear?
Well, you tell your friends and families things they don't want to hear. Let's go and let's do a case study on it, okay? So, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, a year ago, I think, I don't know, Elaine, like I'm really careful. Like Stan, he knows how careful I am. And Tom, he knows how careful I am too. You guys don't. Why? Because you guys aren't really careful. You see, you think, well, Mark's like me. Maybe not. Maybe not so much. So I think it's fine. Is it fine, Elaine? You're on mute if you're talking.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So I don't even know if she knows what I'm going to say. She might not. She's kind of like that. It's just strange. Like, it's just strange. It's like Elaine, 1 to 10, how direct would people say that they think people that know you, Elaine, how direct do you think people think you are?
Oh, I don't know. 6 maybe.
Okay. And how direct do you think you are?
So 2.
And how direct do you think people think I am, Elaine?
Like 8 or 9.
And who do you think I am?
1.
See, Elaine, she can track me. I can track her because we're very similar. So there's this young man, like there's this young man that worked. Well, I'll just say it's just Timothy, and he's becoming a man. Like he's a teenage boy, and he's becoming a man, and he went ahead and shared, with Elaine, I think somebody, that he didn't like working with Luke because Luke was bossy and he didn't something. I wasn't there. And this was, I don't know, 6 months ago. So Nora, am I holding this and weaponizing it for later?
I don't know.
Right? It's hard to know, right? It's hard to know. Like, or is Mark waiting for just the right time to just the perfect time? Like, you got to have the perfect time. Anybody know where I learned that from? The perfect time, perfect voice, perfect, everything's perfect. Anybody know where I learned to aspire to that? Really?
No.
It's my wife and my 4 daughters and all the women in my life. Oh my goodness. You got with women, you gotta go ahead. you gotta go ahead and consider every possible scenario because and even when you do consider every possible scenario, it still doesn't work. But so it's not weaponizing, it's not to go ahead and bring harm to Luke. It's not that at all. Why would I want to do that? That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Like, I want what's best for Luke. Why? I don't know. So a lot of times what you do is you go ahead, and you guys haven't processed this, I don't think. Elaine might have, I don't know, but the others haven't. Sometimes you go ahead and you see one thing and you go, and you don't say it because you don't know. Maybe it's not. And then you see another thing and you go, got that up? And then you go ahead and then you go, I got that. Kind of sound like an evil laugh. Like, I got it. Now I've got a good beat on this bad boy. So once you get a good beat on it, it's like hunting. Kenny and Luke, you guys know what I'm talking about. Nora, flying probably. Yeah, flying. Like, you're like, okay, now I got a good read on this situation. Now you're looking at just the right delivery, just the right time that's going to go ahead and have the right impact. So anyways, I thought that it was just the right time. Luke was ready for it. And so I said to Luke, Luke, Timothy's got an issue with you. Like with you in leadership and working with you, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like working with you. So I would approach it. Now, he's not 18, so he's not, he's still a teenager. So what I do is I respect parents. So Elaine, I say, hey, Elaine, this is what I've done, and kind of give her heads up. And, or no, I don't even think no, I didn't do that actually. I did not do that with Elaine in this situation. Well, I don't remember. See, it's all cloudy. But with Elaine and I, it's fine. Like it's fine. Anyways, I guess Luke talked to Tim, and then I think Tim talked to Elaine, or Elaine overheard him. And so Elaine said something to me. She says, Tim's gonna talk to Luke. I said, okay. And she said, I hope Timothy tells Luke the truth. Well, I've got that. That's my wife and the number, these other amiables. Like, it's just so fascinating. I mean, they're just the most fascinating creatures in the world. It's like, so in my new hairstylist that I'm going to, the sign should be in every home. Seriously. They say, if you liked what we did, or if you didn't like what we did, tell us. And if you liked what we did, tell others. And I thought, that's common sense, but people don't do it. They don't tell the person that they need to. So you'd think two young men could go ahead and communicate together. Like, does Timothy need his mom to jump in and intervene in this situation? Does Luke need Mark and Elaine to jump in? And they have a conversation. And Luke, what was that conversation?
It was, so I asked Timothy a little bit about like what he thought about it, and then he said the biggest thing, there wasn't clarity or enough communication. There wasn't clarity on who was in charge. Then I asked about if there was something strictly just about me that he didn't like working with, and it's like, oh no, not that he can remember.
So it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Like, it's the most fascinating thing in the world. You know? And then in the pre, you always want to come early, stay late. Get as much, you can't get enough of this stuff. Like, Luke starts this morning on the pre with Kenny and said, oh, Kenny, the job, you and Kevin are going to this morning, you can't go until 7:00. And they get there sometimes really early. I mean, 6, 5. I mean, sometimes they get, and I'm like, that's the strangest thing. It's this morning. This morning. Like, it's early. Why would Luke tell him now? I'm like, Luke, when did you know this? I'm thinking he got word, I don't know, earlier this morning. Luke's like, a week or so ago. Why would you tell him this morning? Why would you? What? Well, I put it in the calendar. I mean, Luke says the coolest things in the world. Sometimes women get a little bit, I don't know, whatever. I don't even know the word for it. There's got to be an Amish word for it. Like, it's so funny with women on how they don't mind when other people irritate. Like, women don't mind when people irritate me, but boy, if they irritate a woman, man, it's a big issue. Like, they'll light that person up. But me, no, it doesn't matter. But it's just, and then he says, Kenny disrespect, or in the past, he didn't say a direct, like, somebody disrespected a calendar. What? I've never heard of such a thing. I'm going to start using that. Like, somebody disrespecting a calendar. So Luke put it in the calendar. I don't know. Is that something Kenny's supposed to check? I don't know. I don't know. But why did Luke tell him this morning? Why didn't he just like it's just, people are intoxicating to me. I just look in wonderment. Okay, I want to try to keep to, anybody have anything else? Like, you can't make any of this stuff up. I'll close with, you know, Alvin Miller went ahead and ran into a rough patch. I don't know, maybe when he was 50, 60, he's 86 now. So he's run into a rough patch when he was 50, 60. And, and I mean, it was pretty rough. And his wife, and there were still kids at home. And he had a business, and there was a business. And his wife went ahead and said, I mean, whenever he shares this story, he tears up. I've never had anything like this ever in my life, ever happen, ever. I mean, this has never happened in my life, ever. I'm just like in awe of Alvin's wife. I just like, you got to be joking. I've never had a human being like her in my life, ever. Anyways, he was going through a pretty rough situation, and he's like, you know, hey, I need to go. And she said, yeah, go. And I think he went with one of his sons, pretty sure. He went to the West Coast, and she said, Alvin, honey, don't worry about the kids. Don't worry about the business. I've got it covered, and you don't need to come back until you've got everything worked out. I didn't even know that was an option. Right? And Kenny, I might have you to thank for this. How so, Mark? Because Kenny introduced me to something, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I never experienced in my life. Did that trip mean as much to you, Kenny, as it did me?
I think that's hard. No,
I mean, why?
because you're on steroids.
I mean, you're not talking like actual steroids.
No.
Okay, just to be clear for everybody, what does it mean? What do you mean by that?
Like everything's significant to you, so I mean, if that's a comparison, then no. I mean, yeah, it was significant to me, but not that level.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
Right? Even Beth Smith, my therapist, like, even she doesn't know. She laughs. Therapists, I don't know that they're supposed to laugh. Like, I don't know if they are. I'm fine with it. It's fine. She just laughs. I'm like, why are you laughing, Beth? And she's like, I'm laughing with you. And I'm like, that's like my wife and daughters. I'm like, but I'm not laughing. Like, I'm not laughing. You're laughing with me, but I'm not laughing. And so she just thinks I'm the most interesting person. Yeah, I said it was going to be interesting. We're 5 minutes over. Apologize for that. Anybody else have anything else?
No.
Like, I don't know how you guys do it, honestly. Probably because you're young. But there is so much that's happened in the last 45 minutes. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I'm like, well, we could talk about this and we could talk about this. Don't even get into what happened yesterday. Like, today's Monday. Like, the last 40, don't even think about going into my sleep last night. Like, my sleep last night, whole different. Totally woke up totally different this morning. Like, the sleep last night was totally different. And don't even get into yesterday. Oh my goodness. And then Saturday, there's stuff on Saturday that happened. It's like, I don't even know how to, there's not even words in the English language for it. I'm going to need to learn Chinese or something. So anyways, Ben, I hopefully this is, this one, like, and others that are participating in Top Gun, like, there are times in life that things are just ecstasy. It's just out of this world. There's other times things are boring. But what's interesting is often if we pay attention in life, the things that are boring actually have far more significant things than ecstasy. If drug users, addicts went ahead and understood that, it would probably heal them. It would probably heal them. Victor, hopefully you're listening to this. Stan, you're listening to this. Hopefully other people are listening to this. Andrew, this would be a great one for you. Like, how many people do you guys know that, would benefit from this? Probably a lot. So always remember, Elaine, did you have anything?
No.
Thanks for being on. So if you're listening to the rebroadcast of this, definitely talk to your art mentor, your two art buddies, and have a conversation about this. I'm telling you, this thing has so much depth in it. It's like we could go ahead and spend literally, we could talk about what's happening above the surface, at the surface, and below the surface. It'd be insane. So thanks, everybody. You guys were amazing. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye. This is why you stay around after. So Luke just asked, is there something he should do about Tim and Alvin Miller? We're like, I'm telling you, like, it's just crazy. So, Alvin's like 86 years old, and he's like, once we're talking, and he's like, yeah, and then tears came to his eyes, and he's like, yeah, when I was a boy, young man, I went ahead and was heading in the wrong direction. So he's, was raised Amish, so Rumspringa. So in Rumspringa with the Amish, I mean, it's a lot of drinking, drugs, and sex. I mean, it's a wild party. I mean, it is a wild, wild party. And so, not for all Amish, obviously, but more and more, it seems like it's progressionally getting more. So, anyways, so I'm thinking, he's heading in the wrong direction. And he says, yeah. And a girl saved me. She changed me. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like, were you in Rumspringa? He's like, I said, how old were you? And he's like, I was in second grade. I'm like, what? Like, what? Second grade? What can you be doing wrong in second grade? And he was mischievous. And so I never did get a great answer. Like, it's just mischievous. But I did get the thing that's most important. See, a lot of times when people are focused on the wrong part of the story, this is profound. And it's interesting because they're focused on the stuff that doesn't matter, and they miss the stuff that does. The most significant things that matter, they miss those, and they go for the surface. It happens all the time. It's weird. It's reflex. So I said, well, tell me about the story. He says, yeah, so he's Amish in an Amish, school. And so they have, eighth grade, I think first through or kindergarten through eighth grade, something like that. They're all in one. So it's one schoolhouse. You might only have one or two or three people in your grade. It's probably the best educational system I've ever experienced, I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. It really is. Anyways, it's like I was heading down the wrong path, and there's this girl that, she was probably in, I don't know, seventh or eighth grade. I was like, okay. And he's like, and she came to me and she directly addressed my issues. And tears he's welling up. So he's 86. So he goes back 70 years, more than 70 years. He goes back more than 70 years, and he remembers this event. And he said, that girl changed my life because she was honest with me. Totally changed his entire life. And he says, it's interesting. So this is over 75 maybe years, something, over 70 years ago. And there's tears. It still moves him to tears where there was this girl who cared enough when he was in second grade to say, Alvin, you've got issues. She was direct and she was honest with Alvin, both Amish. And she treated me like an equal. And she just said, you have these issues. And he says, yeah, it's really interesting. I just actually saw her the other day, the girl. So, I mean, if she's 6 years older, he's 86, she's 92. And I remember walking away. How many times, how many times do we miss opportunities? Like that girl wasn't a relative. That girl, I mean, they went to school together, but let's say she's in eighth grade, he's in second grade. Like she didn't have to say something, but she did, and she changed that guy's life forever. And man, that guy is amazing. And so Luke asks, should he do more with Timothy? I don't know. I mean, should you go ahead and have, should you check with Elaine, his mom? How old is Timothy, Elaine?
Just turned 17.
Just turned 17. So, I don't know. He's under 18. One of my rules is I go ahead and, I check with the parents and try to make sure that I'm in alignment with where they're at. They know where their kids are at better than I do. And so, I don't know. So you could check with Elaine, or you could go ahead and say, hey, so Timothy, if you're listening to this, buddy, you're an amazing kid. You have amazing gifts. You really do, buddy. You really do. And so I remember you working at our property, and I remember, you telling me, yeah, my mom went ahead and used to go to Gluckin, but she doesn't anymore. I'm like, why is that? For you English out there that don't know Amish, like Gluckin is gossip. It's like you get together with a bunch of other women and you gossip. And so, and he's like, and he's like, well, that's a waste of time. And she's got 5 kids and a bunch of farm animals, and she wants to impact people. And so Timothy, that made a huge impact. Huge impact. I mean, I kind of saw it with how she handled you kids, and I don't know, are all the Yoder children going to listen to this? You have an amazing mom. She reminds me so much, so much of my mom. So much of my mom. Like, it's crazy. Just crazy. So give her a hug. Tell her you love her. Tell her you appreciate how direct and honest she is with you. Because you may not appreciate it. I remember once I growing up, everybody's doing vegetables and stuff, got things up, and man, this is awesome. I'm like, wow. A couple of them did not look like they were enjoying work. And they're rolling their eyes. I'm like, you may not appreciate this. It brought back so many memories because that's what my mom and dad did to me. Like, I had to do that. Didn't appreciate it at the time. Didn't like it at the time. But boy, do I know how to work. Boy, do I know how to do things I don't enjoy doing. That's helped every area of my life has been changed because I did stupid vegetables and canned and so many stories. So I don't know, Luke. Is it because are people not honest with you because they don't think you're going to listen to them? I don't know. Are people not honest with you, Luke, because they think you're fragile? Like he's not going to listen, so why even say something to him? I don't know. I'm not other people. Are people, do people think you're fragile and they don't push Luke because he's the youngest son and he's a baby. Like he's a baby. He needs to be protected from. Don't want to use a tone or don't want to push him too much because he's a little boy.
He's gonna cry.
He's gonna cry, or he's gonna go ahead and be like a girl, and he's gonna talk to everybody else around, and he's gonna go ahead and gossip. he's gonna he's gonna be, Glucan. He's gonna do Glucan thing. I don't know. I don't know. What? Again, always, always go ahead and come early and always stay late because that's where the real stuff happens.